Everything was splattered. The floor and walls were all painted red, and from the counter of the sink, a mild sound was echoing. It was his blood dripping like water from a broken faucet. In the middle of all this, there was a man, my own father, lying motionlessly on the floor. His face wounded and disfigured, his body covered in red ribbons and bruises. "At least now I'll rest," he whispered in a soothing voice. Trembling and imagining the worst possible scenario, I tried to call 911 before I lost my balance and fell crying next to him. Many years, I've witnessed my father's continuous battle with insomnia, but never ever did I think this monstrous condition would eventually end up almost taking his life. I don't think anyone can understand the pain and sorrow that the fear of losing a parent instills in you unless they've experienced it themselves. Yet this was a decisive moment that made me take a 180-degree turn and relearn everything I've known about why people can't sleep. Even after all these years, my father's torment, although a bleeding wound, brought me to the steps of a spectacular discovery that makes people almost instantly lock their eyes shut and keep them shut as soon as their head touches the pillow. No matter if their hypersensitivity levels are too high, if their heart races faster than a speeding car, and even if their brain is still awake, working in high gear. An answer, backed up by over 24 academic and scientific organizations, the latest one published in the Harvard Medical Journal. A silent trick that relaxes your whole body so that your brain can finally take a break and wake up fully and completely rejuvenated after a good 8, 9, or even 10-hour night's rest. Your body enters into a calm and serene state. Muscles are no longer clenched, and anxiety slowly drifts away, finally allowing you to sink into a deep and peaceful sleep. All while your body is fueled with vital and essential elements that supercharge your immune system and completely rejuvenate your brain and mental health. And not only that, but this simple trick is leaving the medical community in awe and confusion, challenging the conventional and old-fashioned treatments. This novel discovery is the key your brain has been desperately needing in order to lock into the long-craved rest your body was agonizingly asking for. It's cheap and completely safe, without any side effects, and it's currently saving tens of thousands of people from the restless nightmare that has been plaguing them for so long. No more tossing and sweating at night. No more of this indescribable exhaustion that leaves you incapable of doing even the simplest of things, such as washing your face. No more dizziness and injuries from falling and fainting in the weirdest of places. After months and even years of torturous nights, a huge waste of money and time on useless treatments, you can finally take control over your own life. So get ready to bid farewell to useless sleeping pills and calming drugs. And make sure you stay still and focused on what I'm about to reveal in this short yet shocking presentation in less than 3 minutes from now. It's time to finally find out the real root that has provoked this sleepless reality you're so eagerly trying to escape from, and how you, starting from today, can use this very same system that will enable you to fall asleep before you know it and rise the next day fully rested and revitalized to take over the world. Because contrary to the popular beliefs that Big Pharma has fed to millions of innocent people, and despite what multinationals and mainstream media advertises, insomnia doesn't come from loud noises, mental conditions, or brain diseases. Surprisingly, your inability to sleep is deeply linked to a vicious parasite that damages the core area of your brain responsible for allowing you to sleep. And the reason you still suffer from restless nights and days is because no matter what you do, no matter the treatments you follow, and no matter the medication you're on, these drugs actually feed this parasite to the point where it's strong enough to cause real, severe damage to your brain and mental clarity. But worry not. Because once you find out where this toxic parasite actually comes from, you'll be able to flush it out from your body, fix any damage it has caused, and finally get a long, peaceful night's sleep, anytime you want, anywhere you want, even in the noisiest places. This method is so powerful, it gives you the ability to control your brain so that you can enjoy sleeping practically on demand. It rejuvenates every cell in your entire nervous system, gives you super mental clarity, and shields you from brain and memory disease as well. It does not matter if you're 30, 40, or 80. If you suffer from acute or primary insomnia, keeping you from falling asleep, or if you're struggling to stay asleep for more than 2 hours at a time, no matter if you struggle with depression or anxiety and stress, no matter if your sleepless torture has been going on for days, months, and even years, just imagine no more of this brutal and unprecedented fatigue taking over your body. No more lying wide awake because of a racing mind. No more being unable to function and concentrate. No more being unfit to do your work. No more abrupt mood swings and increased irritation. No more of this hell on earth, but instead, a normal and restful life is what is in the cards for you, where you will finally unwind and drift away, only to wake up a new and energetic person, with a growing interest now in life, thriving in your career, challenging your future, and fulfilling your ambitions. But let's not take my word for it. Here are some of the hundreds of messages that flood my WhatsApp and email daily. Lily Scott, 47, from Nashville, Tennessee writes, "I'm 47 years old. I had insomnia for 15 years. I switched medication every 2 years or so. I couldn't fall asleep. I couldn't nap. My brain just refused to take a break. I didn't really drink coffee. The only time I was able to sleep without medication was during my pregnancies. I could have gone 24 hours without sleep. It didn't matter how tired I was. I've tried to stop taking medication because I hated messing with my body, but it was terrible. I tried TBC and it didn't work. I was miserable. I tried your formula out of desperation because, to be fully honest, I didn't believe these kinds of natural things work, but I was wrong. Do you have any idea what it means to sleep normally after 15 years? This is simply amazing. Thank you so much." Lucas Roberts, 25, from Toledo, Ohio says, "People are always saying it's your phone. No, it's not. I've tried everything to be able to sleep, but the insomnia never went away. Even when I would get a full night of sleep, I was always so tired and drained. It was so annoying, just being tired all the time, especially when I woke up in the middle of the night and couldn't go back to sleep. That happened more than 3 times a week. So I tried your method. First few days, nothing major happened, but it was only weeks after that my sleep routine became normal again. Not feeling tired all the time is such a feeling of freedom. Can you imagine getting 7, 8, or 9 hours of long, peaceful sleep? Amazing. Thank you." Ryder Johnston, 40, from Portsmouth, Virginia, who wrote, "I tried everything, but nothing helped. I didn't want to use sleeping pills. I've read horror stories about their side effects. I decided to try natural sleep-inducing methods first. Well, most of them are false advertising. I tried yours because a friend of mine convinced me to. A few weeks later, I've taken control of my life and sleep like a baby. Thank you for sharing this with the rest of the world. Thank you so much." Now, although these incredible success stories make me teary and beyond happy every time I read them, the truth is, they aren't unique. Hi, my name is Dr. Steve Reed. I'm 46 years old, I have a wife, a kid, and a little one on the way, and I've been a physician for approximately 2 decades. During the course of my career, I've devoted myself to focusing on one single problem: help people who suffer from sleep deprivation and individuals who have had insomnia wreak havoc in their lives. Every day, countless unfortunate men and women come into my office in despair and horror, complaining that their eyes would never stay shut at night, no matter what they do. That they'll forever toss and spin around their sheets, powerless to make it stop. That their brain will not ever take a break. That despite their best efforts, their body won't succumb to sleep. So they end up getting out of bed ready to pass out from exhaustion. Their eyes red and itchy, and their zest for life shattered in pieces. And the one thing they all wholeheartedly wish for in life is to close their eyes at night and wake up the next morning after 8 hours of deep and reinvigorated sleep. For each one of them, it was truly a horrible, horrible nightmare. During the past 20 years, I fully committed myself in treating victims of sleep disorders, whether they were tormented by primary insomnia, acute insomnia, inability to sleep more than 2 or 3 hours, or simply unable to stay asleep. I'm also proud to say that over the past few years, I've gathered a group of the most trusted and respected physicians and health professionals who have helped me develop the method I'm about to share with you today. You see, not long ago, I almost lost my father due to sleep deprivation that had hit him since he was a teenager. In fact, it was one of the reasons why I chose to focus on this area as a doctor. A few years ago, all of a sudden, my father's behavior started to change. He was sorrowful, frustrated, and angry all the time. At first, nobody knew why. His marriage was beautiful and peaceful. His grandkids loved spending time with him, but then everything was different. He became a different person. "I'm not getting too much sleep lately," he kept saying to my mother. We initially thought it was from too much stress at work, but he always said his job made him very, very happy. Things went on like this for a few months and nothing changed. In fact, things became worse. Seeing him like this, my wife and I and Jimmy, our little boy, decided to move in with my parents for a while, just to be there and help. We figured seeing Jimmy all the time would bring peace to his mind. That's when I saw what insomnia truly does to a person. I remember how he dragged his weary body through the house in the middle of the night, drained of any sign of energy and vitality, desperately seeking some surface to lay on because he was ridiculously exhausted, yet no matter what he tried, sleep never came. And although sleep felt like seconds away, all he got was the same silent battle inside his head. over and over again. He was haunted by this invisible nightmare, which was destroying every single aspect of his life. He couldn't concentrate on anything. Reading was horrendous because it would make him sleepy, and yet he would not be able to drift away for even 5 minutes. So his migraine started worsening, bringing him on the verge of passing out, literally everywhere. He would toss and spin around in the bedsheets endlessly, finally closing his eyes, then to wake up again every hour or two. He used to describe it by saying that it was like your body and mind are separated from each other, never at ease, neither of them. But then things got bad, really bad. On a Saturday night, while I was with my wife and Jimmy watching TV, staying at our parents' house, I heard a loud noise from upstairs. Something in my gut told me it was my father. He was behaving odd lately, as his insomnia worsened. I rushed the stairs and looked into the bedroom, but nothing. After a few seconds, I opened the bathroom door, only to witness a horror scene like no other in my life. My father was laying motionlessly on the floor in a pool of his own blood. He was so exhausted, he had passed out while he was brushing his teeth and had hit his head on the sink. My heart was beating furiously as I called 911. Luckily, my father suffered no brain injuries, but this was extremely scary. I knew right then that I had to do something before something worse happened to him. I knew there was no time to wait for a miracle. As soon as my father got out of the hospital, I picked up my phone and called a trusted friend of mine, which I'll call Dr. Olson in order to protect his identity. A medical chemist that was currently leading a special research team to conduct one of the biggest sleep deprivation studies the medical community has ever made. Dr. Olson was a professional, well known around the medical and scientific circles, having been a pioneer to revolutionary treatments and helping thousands of people. He was frequently invited to speak on national television and many medical congresses. Now, Dr. Olson has been on the tracks of a new and incredible method for sleep deprivation, something that he's been searching and studying for the past 12 years. So I told him about my father and how he tried everything and nothing worked. "I'm glad you came to me, Steve. Sleep deprivation is one of the most concerning conditions of modern age," Dr. Olson said to me. "Tens of millions of people suffer from things like insomnia and lack of sleep today, and yet there is absolutely no evidence of something like this happening even 80 to 100 years ago. Yet they had famine, they had wars, they had a lot of stress going on," he added. "In fact, although there is evidence they were sleeping less hours than we do, and although they had different sleeping patterns, they still were way more energetic than we are today. I believe the answer to all your problems lies there," Dr. Olson concluded. He also confessed they were really close in finding out the true key in their search for a solution to insomnia and even brain damage, but their funding had been pulled just days before they announced on their website that they were almost on the verge of a breakthrough. The 2 pharmaceutical companies that were supporting them just told them they were in financial troubles. Since their contract meant they controlled access to Dr. Olson and his team's work, they had to stop work and hand over the records of what they'd done. Can anyone tell me why these things keep happening in America? Honestly? I've spent years of my life watching my father being torn apart by insomnia, and as much as he tried, he could never take control over his racing mind. Even when he was prescribed Ambien, the most famous sleeping pill, his life just got worse. Yes, he was finally able to close his eyes and fall asleep, only to sleepwalk and do the weirdest and strangest stuff you would ever imagine, until madness struck and the inevitable almost happened. Yet, people that had no soft or comfortable beds, regulated house temperatures for sleep, or shutters to keep the room dark even if the sun had risen, were not only sleeping like babies, but even when they slept less, their energy levels were unmatched compared to ours. So I asked Dr. Olson to allow me to join him in continuing his research, even if it's off the books, with the idea that if we found anything, we'd fight Big Pharma together. Dr. Olson invited me to his house. Being the smart person I always thought he was, he had kept a copy of his research files for himself. He said it was too precious to give up on this, even if it could cost him his freedom. And what I found was in these exact words: shocking. A groundbreaking study conducted by Japanese scientists belonging to the University of Tsukuba has finally shed some light on why people can't get as much sleep as our great-grandparents did. They explained how our gut is where regulation of our wake-sleep cycle takes place. Our intestine is the single largest surface inside our body, full of thousands of bacteria, viruses, and fungi. These have been proven to affect our brain functions and activities through the signals they send between the gut and the brain. And according to this groundbreaking research, our gut flora plays an essential role when it comes to our serotonin and dopamine levels. Now, serotonin is an amino acid that the brain not only needs in order to function properly, But also, as Professor Masashi Yanagasawa, the lead author of this paper, says, it's a vital ingredient that, once diminished, affects our sleep-wake patterns. While serotonin seems to both induce sleep and keep us awake, it's a chemical precursor to melatonin, which means that if left unbalanced in the body, instead of helping you sleep, this hormone actually keeps you awake. The gut is in constant communication with your brain, and although both produce serotonin, according to the American Psychological Association, 95% of our serotonin supply is produced by the bacteria residing in our gut and not inside the brain itself. The problem is that gut microbiota can be attacked easily and destroyed due to two factors. Now, here's why this happens. The first cause is found in our modern eating habits. The diet we Americans tend to consume is high in sugars and fats. Meals and snacks high in sugar confuse your body. Your blood sugar levels are elevating, only to fall again, thus causing hypertension, explaining why many sleep-deprived people toss and turn in their beds like maniacs. Charlotte Watts, an award-winning nutritional therapist, says sugar, when processed by the body, utilizes high amounts of magnesium, which is a vital component for sleep. The problem is that sugar is to be found in almost every food or diet we choose to follow. And this is why people of any age suffer from sleep deprivation. I wish it was just that simple. Even healthy foods like onions, tomatoes, garlic, citrus fruits, dark chocolate, and peppermint contain acidic substances which can cause reflux and thus severely disturb your sleep. Not only that, but the acid they unleash inside your stomach causes an imbalance among your gut microbiota that's disturbing serotonin production. The second cause lies in a most shocking factor. According to a study conducted by the Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory in 2017, antibiotics do influence the reduction of gut microbiota, thus leading to nocturnal insomnia. Another article published in the Scientific Journal of Cellular and Infection Microbiology shows that antibiotics are damaging the biodiversity of gut microbiota and their healthy activities such as regulating sleep patterns. But things get even worse somehow. Now, we all know that stress is a side effect of insomnia. But in fact, research shows it also makes things worse. Once stress levels get high, they start attacking you by two different routes. The first one is through your brain. Stress triggers hormones that send signals of anxiety directly to your central nervous system. Now, given that a staggering 49% of U.S. adults suffer from it, the U.S. National Library of Medicine published a research in 2019 describing a novel pathway through which stress levels affect our gut microbiota as well. Basically, stress attacks our immune system, which in turn affects the composition of our gut biodiversity, which in turn stops serotonin production. And at the end of the day, you still get no sleep. As 70 million Americans do, striving to survive day by day while hooked on caffeine. And of course, the first thing we do to cope with it is drinking coffee to try and stay awake when we need to. And then here comes the sleeping pills and drugs like Ramelteon, Zaloplan, and Zolpidem, Ambien to name a few, expensive and highly addictive medications that leave you groggy in the morning and the rest of the day, and at high risk of losing your balance and falling. My father had been one of those patients on Ambien. I remember how many nights my mother couldn't find him and called me desperate and crying. Sometimes he would be sleeping in his car. Sometimes he would eat in the middle of the night and ask the next day who made the kitchen such a mess, or we would find him dancing in the middle of the living room. And all these were while he was sound asleep. Truth is, it's terrifying, and he tried everything there was to try. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or techniques like relaxation and sleep restriction, and even hypnosis, but they all failed, simply because their results, if there's any at all, aren't permanent. They'd get a few more hours of sleep, but once they would stop the treatment, insomnia would strike back. And it makes sense, because every single day, the foods you consume are full of elements like sugars that destroy any cell in your body, which are needful for inducing sleep. My head was aching after reading all this, because even though I found the real culprit of it all, I had no idea how to fight it back. So I called Dr. Olson again. "We have to fight this from the root," he said to me, which meant if we ever wanted to help my father sleep again, we had to start from where the problem actually starts, not in the brain, but inside the gut. We had to fuel the body with certain organic elements, the ones that would reset the body's ability to produce sleep hormones. But Dr. Olson said that this was not enough. We needed something stronger. He informed me how he came across some rare and miraculous herbs which were scattered in various places around the globe. Ancient tribes from the Middle East and Asia to North America have been using these powerful plants that contain sleep-inducing elements. So what he was examining was how these herbs, once combined with the gut restoration nutrients, would interact, and how this combination could possibly be the answer to this modern sleep epidemic. This was the key. If we could isolate the proper mix of these herbs, we could help the body battle the sugars and other toxic elements that destroy the ability to sleep. So we worked day and night until we made sure that the right quantities and the right ingredients, mixing them together to find the perfect mix. Here's a short, to-the-point explanation on how this works. First, we added L-tryptophan. L-tryptophan is a crucial amino acid located in veggies and fruits, such as bananas, apples, and nuts, is converted into a molecule that produces serotonin and melatonin. So while your gut is being restored, we also help it by producing the sleep hormone as well. It has been shown that L-tryptophan helps people that suffer from sleep apnea by reducing the frequency of episodes where they cannot breathe while asleep. Then we added magnesium, calcium, and vitamin B6. Magnesium is a mineral mostly found in seeds, nuts, broccoli, and almonds, necessary for promoting steady and peaceful sleep. This mineral assists your gut to support a well-functioning immune system by extra boosting serotonin levels, which in turn stabilize neurotransmitters like GABA and sleep hormones. Then, vitamin B6 and calcium combine with magnesium and L-tryptophan, generating dopamine and serotonin, which now can freely induce melatonin. So while your gut is shielded and your serotonin levels are starting to regulate, we added melatonin, known as the hormone of sleep. High melatonin levels cause your blood pressure and body temperature to lower, putting you in the mood for sleep, since your body now knows to switch from serotonin production to melatonin stimulation. Next, we added goji berry, a fruit very rich in melatonin. Famously called a superfood, it's found in the depths of Asia and the Republic of China. While your gut takes its time to reset your immune system and serotonin levels, this spectacular plant works to balance your insulin and glucose blood levels, thus contributing to peaceful sleep. Then there is passion flower, which grows in southeastern US, South and Central America, and has been used to treat gut irregularities and problems. While protecting and setting your gut functions back on track, it also contributes to optimal GABA levels inside your system. And ashwagandha, known as Withania somnifera, an ancient medical plant located in India, the Middle East, and parts of Africa, which contains triethylene glycol, TEG, a sleep-inducing element. First, TEG regulates your sleep-wake cycle and then strengthens the white blood cells, part of your immune system, allowing these cells to travel freely through your body, transmitting serotonin uninterrupted directly to your brain. Lastly, the vital element GABA, also known as gamma-aminobutyric acid, a natural chemical with high anti-anxiety properties that has been proved to calm your brain activities and provoke sleep. GABA also acts as a blood sugar level stabilizer, thus reducing hypertension significantly, making individuals suffering from it falling asleep. Of course, the first person to try this formula was my father. Although he was very skeptical at first, I knew he was desperately searching for a way out of the insomnia nightmare. He followed our instructions and took a capsule every night before getting into bed. We had moved back to our own home after the event I mentioned above, but now I decided to move back with him for a couple weeks just to make sure there were no complications and to track his progress. The first few days, he didn't see any difference, and I could see the disappointment written in his eyes. I myself felt a little bit discouraged, but Dr. Olson told me to be patient. But after a few more days had passed, there was one glorious morning when I saw my father coming out of his bedroom to eat breakfast. I was speechless. I just about couldn't recognize the person in front of me. He stood there, full of energy, giving me the biggest smile I had seen in years. "How are you today, son?" "I've slept like a baby for the past 9 hours," he said, clearly excited. And after that, not a single night has passed where he couldn't drift away peacefully for a good solid 8 hours or more. Sometimes, he would even take a late afternoon nap for 2 to 3 hours. Practically any time he wanted to sleep, he could. It was as simple as that. He kept saying he had a lot of sleep to catch up on, and I was amazed. Seeing how my father gradually got over this raging and persistent exhaustion, and how he was now getting a full night's rest, waking up rejuvenated, taking control of his own life. We posted an announcement on the internet asking for more volunteers to try our formula. We wanted to share our discovery with the world. Our aim was to assure ourselves that this formula would indeed work for everyone out there. Starting out, we were expecting some positive results, but what happened exceeded even our greatest and wildest expectations. All of the 122 individuals in our test program reported signs of peaceful sleep after mere weeks. Every single one of them confirmed they were waking up fully rested, their energy levels boosted, they regained their mental clarity, there were no mood swings, and they were full of joy and zest for life all day long. And more importantly, their stress levels went to zero. So we got back to work to try and make this formula available and accessible to everybody. An organic method that was the key our bodies needed in order to lock in a peaceful sleep, a powerful combination of 100% natural substances guaranteed to regulate your sleep-wake cycle. The next step was to look for manufacturing partners. The ingredients were scattered around the globe, and in order for us to locate each one of them, it would cost us thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. We knew we needed to contact a manufacturing facility in the US for which we could source the ingredients so that they would be able to take care of the entire manufacturing process for us. Before we moved on with this, I had only one request that was not up for discussion. If we did this right, with the highest quality ingredients. No compromises of any sorts, only the best products were to go into this potent mixture. Sourced from only local growers who use no pesticides or herbicides whatsoever and let their plants mature naturally. Due to Dr. Olson's network, we managed to find a pristine, FDA-approved and GMP-certified facility that made us jump with joy for two reasons. One, it had incredibly strict disinfection protocols, so any dangerous bacteria or germs were kept at bay. And two, it was as discreet as it was large, so we could go forth with the process without worrying too much about Big Pharma hearing about our groundbreaking discovery. Our blend is 100% natural, and due to this, we didn't need any approval from government agencies in order to produce this formula. And so, we decided to call it Sleep Guard Plus. The only 100% natural, non-GMO solution that fights the root cause of sleep deprivation, full of calming essences that battle the toxins and the chemicals found in our everyday foods, and perfectly regulates your sleep-wake cycle. This product is 100% natural and manufactured right here in the USA. Sleep Guard Plus does not contain any dangerous stimulants or toxins and is non-addictive. Well, we can't promise you won't be addicted to its results, though. This remedy is fueled with the highest quality natural elements that your body needs to drift away to dreamland and come back repaired and reinvigorated in order to function properly during the day. And all this with zero downsides. This solution is guaranteed to have more effect than any other treatment or any pills out there on the market. Not only does it target and annihilate every poisonous substance found in your gut, but it also works wonders on your nervous system and gives you the best and most peaceful sleep. As for side effects, the only side effects you are going to encounter are total body and mind rejuvenation and a healthy, full-rested organism. Plus, your pockets will now be filled with the money you would have otherwise spent on sleeping pills or useless cognitive behavioral treatments. Like Amanda Watts, 52, from Greenwood, Mississippi, wrote us a message and says, "I was always exhausted, unable to concentrate, and unable to drive. I felt as if I was starting to develop mental health problems, anxiety, and depression, and that my family was at risk. The typical response was to prescribe some sleeping pills, but I knew they weren't the answer. I decided to treat myself using natural remedies, and this is why I pursued yours. At first, I didn't notice any difference, but after a while, I was amazed. In fact, I couldn't believe that I was finally going to bed and sleeping like a baby. 8 hours of full resting sleep. This actually works, and I'm so happy. Thanks a million." Or Peter Hoffman, 31, from Chicago, Illinois, who wrote to us, "Listen, I didn't have anxiety or depression. I just couldn't sleep. I had no trauma, no nerve or joint pain or whatever, so I searched the internet to find people like me, to find out if this is normal, although I knew it wasn't. But anyways, long story short, this is how I came across your product. Since it was extremely cheap compared to the chemical-filled solutions the doctors prescribed me, I said to myself, why not? And it worked. This is my go-to remedy for anyone that suffers from sleep deprivation like me. I can't even find the words to thank you enough." And Alessia Gutierrez, 42, from Philadelphia, Mississippi, who says, "I suffered from insomnia, and I tended to cry at every little thing. My night was endless, so I would stay awake and read. Eventually, I was let go by my employer. My brain could no longer function. I said, this is it. There's nothing I can do about it. I tried everything, and nothing worked. Then a friend of mine told me about your product. I was so exhausted and miserable that I would try anything. My expectations were pretty low, though. But when after a while I woke up feeling vigorous and energetic, I was so confused as to what happened. When I realized it, I cried. But this time there were tears of happiness. There hasn't been a single night since then that I didn't close my eyes immediately after getting into bed. What you do is phenomenal. You gave me back my life. Bless you. Everything you have to do in order to be as healthy and happy as the people you just heard is to start using this amazing, bioabsorbable, easy-to-use solution immediately. It's more simple than you think. And in the next 2 minutes, I will show you how you can secure your access to everything. After hearing all this, it should come as no surprise that SleepGuard Plus is superior to absolutely any other so-called solution to beating insomnia. Everything that is out there at the moment only works short-term, and they're either way too expensive or they don't address the root cause. However, SleepGuard Plus is completely different. Not only is it natural, non-GMO, and easy to use, but it is proven to be completely efficient when it comes to fighting the toxic substances that enter your gut and slowly multiply by the thousands every day. These are the same toxins that destroy your gut microbiota and reach your brain, making you unable to unwind until brutal and persistent exhaustion makes you pass out. Of course, going to a doctor is always a solution. But let me ask you something. Is being addicted to hellish pills like Zapleton or Ambien that make you do the most dangerous and life-threatening things worth it? Especially knowing that you're going to pay a lot of money for some sadistic and addictive medication that is not 100% guaranteed to work? Thousands and thousands of dollars spent on countless torture methods, at the end of which you will find yourself crying from exhaustion and still getting zero sleep. No sleep techniques or cognitive behavioral therapy are effective enough to fight the army of chemicals and toxins that march into your gut each and every day, attacking and killing your nervous system. And if you're thinking of getting sleeping pills, think again. You were just going to waste heaps of money and a couple of years of your precious time, only to see that they were useless nonetheless. And even if you are part of the small percentage of people who didn't experience any life-threatening side effects, remember, you can't take them forever. Most sleeping pills are prescribed for a fixed period of time because they have severe consequences for your health. Plus, they're not meant to treat insomnia. Nothing will be strong enough to beat your nightmare. Of course, nothing aside from SleepGuard Plus, the only supplement in the form of capsules on the market that can fix your sleep issues in the blink of an eye, while also keeping you safe from future infectious parasites. Before you say yes to the product that is guaranteed to change your life for the better, you should ask yourself, how much would I be willing to pay for full control over my life and peaceful 8 hours of sleep every night? $50,000? $10,000? $5,000? Now, despite the fact that Dr. Olson advised me to sell the 30-day supply of SleepGuard Plus at $879, factoring in the time we spent researching this product and the tests that we have run, my own wife suggested the price of $597 after seeing how changed of a person my father is now. And not to mention, our suppliers mentioned the price of $397 just for how high quality the ingredients are. The thousands of people that tried this product even said they would pay triple its price due to how amazing the results were. But I'm sure you realize this is bigger than any money. I'm never going to forget how my father almost lost his life because of this soul-decimating disease. How he was wandering around like a ghost, trembling and dripping, unable to close his eyes and recharge. Those nights full of anxiety and hypertension, those migraines and terrible dizziness, and not to mention his strange behavior. All this could have easily ruined his life. Not to mention he was always at risk of heart issues and brain diseases. I never wish for anyone to go through the same painful moments as he did. This is why asking for insane sums of money was out of the question. I just want to cover the cost of the ingredients and keep this site up and running for as long as possible. Sadly, in order to do that, I may have to charge $97 for one flask of this formula soon. One bottle is surely not as expensive as a single visit to the doctor, but it's guaranteed to solve your problems more easily and less painfully. Plus, you don't run the risk of turning into an addict since SleepGuard Plus is 100% non-habit forming and risk-free. Now, while this site remains up and running, which may not be a long time, considering that Big Pharma would give anything to shut down this efficient and cheap solution, you can now get your 30-day supply of SleepGuard Plus for a one-time, 100% risk-free investment of no more than $69. Yes, you heard me right, only $69 for this effective, simple, and yet incredibly potent method of healing sleep problems. Now, there's something else you should know. If you order the 3 or 6 month packages, you get an even bigger discount. And there's a very good reason behind it. Both Dr. Olson and I have witnessed the effects of SleepGuard Plus firsthand, as well as the other 122 initial brave volunteers. Not to mention the 230,000 people that have already used SleepGuard Plus, who now enjoy a happy and energetic life, drifting away peacefully every single night. This is why we recommended using this incredible mixture for 90 days, just to make sure that you are 100% shielded from the dangerous, life-threatening, and sleep deprivation germs that make their way into your gut every day. It is impossible for us to estimate how many chemicals and dangerous toxins you may have in your gut right now. This depends on your diet, on your habits, and many other factors. This is why, after seeing the positive results of more than 230,000 people, we recommend you take 3 bottles at the very least, so you can see the amazing results of SleepGuard Plus, especially since it will probably take a little over 70 days to make sure that your entire system is wiped clean of any traces of germs, toxins, and bacteria. 3 bottles of this amazing formula are going to shield your whole system and make sure the elements are fully absorbed by your body and fully incorporated into your system. This will allow your body to shield itself from future threats, take the time it needs to repair and regenerate while drifting away. The 6-bottle package of SleepGuard Plus is going to make wonders in your system. Plus, there's one more crucial aspect that you should know about. Missing just one single day of SleepGuard Plus is going to put at risk your entire progress, so please be careful. Don't miss a day of taking SleepGuard Plus. Each day when you open your eyes, you'll feel a huge wave of energy and positivity taking over every inch of your body, filling you with confidence that you'll achieve anything you put your mind to. After a while, when you smile at yourself every morning in the mirror, you will see this: a fully rested and revitalized face, glowing from inside out, and you will feel more empowered and energetic than you have ever felt in your entire life. That is, only if you decide to use SleepGuard Plus without hitting the pause button on this process. Because if you do, it might take you weeks or even months to get its engines running again at full capacity. My advice? Don't risk running out of SleepGuard Plus. It's just not worth ruining your sleep and health again just because you missed one single day. Also, you should know that SleepGuard Plus sells very fast. And once it's sold out, it's going to take us up to 9 whole months to get another batch ready, since we're only looking for the best ingredients. We are still going to support you however we can, though. That is why we are letting you order the 3 and 6 bottle packages at a huge discount. Another thing that you should know is that SleepGuard Plus is not available anywhere in stores or supermarkets, this site being the only way you can secure your stock at the cheapest possible price. On top of that, once you decide to order today, you will be spared the shipping costs. Look below this video and select your package now. You will then be redirected to a 100% secure checkout page. For your convenience and safety, we're using a payment software that is used by the top bank systems too, which means all your data is 100% protected. You can choose to pay via credit, debit card, or even PayPal. After you fill in your information and confirm your order, your shipment is going to arrive discreetly, swiftly, and for free at your doorstep. And again, if you order the 3 or 6 bottle package, you will receive a huge discount. Hurry, because we're probably going to run out of stock very, very soon. Remember, your order today is a simple one-time payment with no hidden fees or subscriptions and is guaranteed to change your life completely. SleepGuard Plus is only available for purchase on this site and this site only. So this is your one-time chance to get your hands on it. Also, one more time, missing just one day of SleepGuard Plus can compromise your entire progress, so once you buy it, you wouldn't want to run out of it. Look, the sleep aid industry is estimated to reach a staggering value of $32.1 billion by next year, thanks to millions of honest people who have been cluelessly buying their life-threatening treatments and paying for their expensive tactics. No wonder big pharmaceutical conglomerates are hunting down every alternative solution on the market that can conveniently help you with your insomnia. All that effort just so we can continue using their overpriced, useless services. I get threats from these filthy rich conglomerates on a daily basis. After all this hard work and pain, risking your family's safety isn't something that you can allow to happen for a long time. You should know what I'm talking about. So I urge you to choose SleepGuard Plus today while you still can, while I can keep this site live in spite of Big Pharma's pushback. Gain back your well-rested sleep and even more, your happiness and peace of mind. I understand if you're feeling skeptical right now. You must have tried a lot of methods, but to no avail. None of them seem to work. Plus, you probably spent more money than you can even count on medication and treatments. But all of that ends here, on this page. I am so confident that SleepGuard Plus will work that I'm going to offer you our risk-free 60-day money-back guarantee. If, after using this solution, you don't see any improvement on your sleep schedule, or if you're simply not happy enough with the results, we'll offer you a full refund, no questions asked. Just contact us within 60 days after your purchase, and you will get all your money back. It doesn't matter if you use the whole bottle. I will personally see that you get every single penny back. After all, you have 2 whole months to decide if SleepGuard Plus is good enough for you. No hidden fees whatsoever. A simple, secure, and 100% risk-free investment. All you have to do is choose the offer that you think would suit you best from below. It somehow feels you're now at a crossroads, wondering which path you should take. The first path would mean to stop watching this video and leave this page. You do nothing and just keep going the way you are now for who knows how long. Exhausted and depressed, unable to control your own mind. You'll stand by as you watch your life shattering little by little, and your insomnia only gets worse until you resort to these life-wrecking sleeping pills, and it's game over. Trust me, my father's been there. Now the second path is completely different, and quite honestly, this is the only one that actually makes sense for you. Get this product right now, and you'll be stunned by how easy it is to be happy and healthy again. No more tossing endlessly, no more headaches, no more being unable to concentrate. All with just one easy-to-swallow capsule per day for a few weeks. Click the button below, choose your preferred package, enter your payment details, and place the order right now. We will ship the bottles straight away, right to your doorstep. No shipping charges, no hidden fees, nothing. It's absolutely guaranteed to change your life. I can't wait for you to become one more success story added to the 230 success stories we have of how effective SleepGuard Plus has been in people's lives. Still here? Amazing. That means I have a little more time to answer some common questions I receive about SleepGuard Plus. Everything about this is to make sure you are fully comfortable and satisfied with the decision to order our supplement today. 1. Can you tell me how this works again? It works like this. Modern science has come to the conclusion that insomnia is linked to a gut microbiota deficit that is caused by our eating habits. Our gut microbiota will take one blow after the other, reducing in number and destabilizing our serotonin levels. Serotonin production, 95% of which takes place inside our gut and not our brain, is vital for our sleep-wake cycle. When it doesn't reach our nervous system, our brain is unable to relax and drift away. Fortunately, SleepGuard Plus has been designed with one purpose in mind: protect our gut biodiversity from outer invaders, boost our immune and nervous system, ensure our serotonin production, and insert in our bodies essential aminos and minerals that shield it like a fortress. 2. Is SleepGuard Plus safe? SleepGuard Plus has been created for all ages and medical conditions, aiming at the real root of insomnia. The most important thing you can do today, in order to ensure a healthy sleep schedule into old age, is to start using SleepGuard Plus. It has all the high-quality natural ingredients that your body needs. Plus, it is manufactured in a highly sterile, FDA-approved, and GMP-certified facility. Every ingredient that went into this spectacular formula has been tested for purity, and their qualities have been ensured by certified scientists. However, if you do have a medical condition or are currently taking other prescription medication, we strongly advise you to show a bottle of this formula to your doctor prior to taking it, just to make sure everything is in order. 3. How and why should I take SleepGuard Plus? One capsule every evening before getting into bed is all it takes for SleepGuard Plus to start working. This should be enough to activate all the amazing substances in our product. 4. What if it doesn't work for me? Can you tell me about the guarantee again? Looking at the amazing results of this formula, we strongly believe that SleepGuard Plus holds the power to regulate your sleep-wake cycle. Now, we know that not everything works for 100% of the people trying it, since everyone's organisms respond differently. This is why we set this ironclad guarantee. If, for any reason, you are not satisfied with the results of our product within 60 days, simply return what you have not used for a full refund. No questions asked, no hidden fees, simple as that. 5. How long will SleepGuard Plus be available to the public? This is a very tricky question, but I'm glad it's here. There are a lot of cases which have shown us that Big Pharma is not afraid to spend millions of dollars in order to remove something so revolutionary and groundbreaking from the market as SleepGuard Plus. After all, wouldn't you spend a lot of money in order to protect a $32.1 billion industry? So while this formula is available today on this website, I'm not sure how long it will stay that way. So all you have to do to be sure is to click the link below today. Fill in your details, submit your order, and become one of the success stories today.